Hey everybody, Kevin Iole here. UFC 311 in Inglewood, California is now in the books. Good show, a lot of great performances, but I think we have to really talk quite a lot here about the last two fights and the performances of the champions. Merab Dvalishvili, the Bantamweight champion in the co-main event, he defeats Umar Nurmagomedov by unanimous decision. The scores on that were 48-47 twice and 49-46. And then Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion, he submits Renato Moicano with a Darce choke in the first round. He becomes probably the greatest lightweight of all time. And both of those guys performed unbelievably well. Dana White at the post-fight press conference, he made the comment that he felt like Islam Makhachev had surpassed John Jones as the pound for pound. And anybody who's followed the UFC for the last year or so knows that 2024 was the year of Dana White and John Jones bromance, where Dana just seemed to be all over John Jones and praising him, and wouldn't hear of anybody else being considered pound for pound champion. But he said tonight, after Makhachev submitted Moicano in the first round, he was supposed to fight Arman Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan injured his back and decided to pull out of the fight at 1 a.m. on Friday morning, excuse me. He said that's what a champion does. That's what the best fighter in the world does. He fights anybody at any point, and he handles them. Makhachev actually reiterated that, and he just said, I don't care who I fight. I train to get myself ready to fight. I don't train for a specific opponent. Let me talk about that a little bit. I have to think before I'm going to make a designation on which one is number one and which one is number two. Islam had been number one because John Jones was inactive for more than a year. Then in November 16th at Madison Square Garden in New York, Jones comes out at UFC 309 and he annihilates Stipe Miocic. And then you look at his record and you go, that long run of dominance he had. Then he has the first round submission of Cyril Gane. He has the second round knockout of Stipe Miocic. And I know some people thought, okay, Miocic is, 40 plus years old and he hadn't fought. And all of that was true. But did John Jones look bad in that fight to you? So I put Jones back up on top of my pound for pound list after that fight. Now I got some thinking to do because Makhachev comes out and he just makes Renato Moicano just look like another guy. And Moicano is a very good fighter. And Moicano has really been getting better. And he just looked like he had nothing against Islam Makhachev. It's like they weren't in the same league. And I think when you look at it, look at what Makhachev has done and the wins he's put together, he's now won, 15 fights in a row, I believe it is. Just an incredible run. And, he deserves consideration to be in that pound for pound slot. Now, I think there's no question as we stand here right now, John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time, given his body of work, given how long he has done this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think there is an argument to be made for Islam. His only loss came early in his UFC career, and he got knocked out in that fight. It was in Houston. He's since come back and just made so many improvements, fight after fight after fight, that I think he has established himself as a true legend of the game. He is up there on that George St. Pierre, Demetrius Johnson, Anderson Silva level. He is in that level now, up there with John Jones. Has he surpassed John Jones? I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes right now. I want to think about it a little bit over the next couple of days. And you want to think about who they beat, when they beat the people that they beat, and then I'll come up with a decision. I'll be curious to see what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comments on who you think is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world right now. Is it John Jones, the heavyweight champion? Is it Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion? Is there somebody else that you like? I'd be curious to see. Now, interestingly, Dana said at the post-fight press conference that Arman Tsarukyan would not, and that shocked me, he would not get the next title opportunity at lightweight, and that was kind of a surprise. He injured himself, and from by all accounts that I've heard, it's been a legitimate injury. Dana did not come out and flat out and say, yes, I think he could have fought. But the way he spoke, he kind of intimated, he made it sound like, Tsarukyan could have fought had he wanted to fight. But as it is, Dana said he's going to have to fight his way back into a title shot. So if Islam stays at 155, then I think Charles Oliveira is going to be his next opponent. But if he moves up, then, who knows what will happen. He would probably wind up fighting the Shavkat Bilal Muhammad winner for the welterweight title. I don't think he really wants to fight Bilal Muhammad, but we shall see. But he did reiterate that he wants to get 2 championships at least. And he said he thought he could move up to 185 and win a championship at that weight. That is a big leap because those guys are big, big boys. When you get to 185, they're cutting down from 215, 220 in a lot of cases. And that is a lot of size for Islam to give up. I would never put anything past him because he's such a great athlete and he's such a great fighter, that those kind of people can do things that other normal human beings can't do. But that would be asking an awful lot for him to go up to middleweight. We were joking with him at the post-fight, and somebody said, "Would you fight Alex Pereira, for the light heavyweight belt?" And he said, "That's where I'll draw the line." So no Alex Pereira. So he's willing to go up and take on the Dricus du Plessis, Sean Strickland winner. He's obviously looking to get a welterweight belt, but he has no interest. Alex Pereira is where he's going to draw the line. So probably good thinking on his part. In the co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili retained his title. And, you have to respect this guy. There's nothing that you look at and you say, man, he does that well. It's like not like he's the most technical striker. He became the UFC's all-time takedown leader tonight. But you don't look at him and you don't say, hey, this guy would give Henry Cejudo trouble in a wrestling match, right? I mean, all these things that he does, he's good at everything, but he's not great. But the one thing that he is great at is he pushes an insane pace. And you saw that it wore Umar down tonight. There was no question. I was in the blue corner, so Umar came back to the corner after the 3rd round. And you saw him do that after the 3rd round. And Merab was just getting started. Like Merab could have gone 5 more rounds, I felt like at that point. And Umar just kind of tailed off in the 4th and 5th round and really did not make much of an effort in those last couple of rounds. Didn't put up much of resistance, I guess I should say. But we got to put some respect on Merab's name because, look at the run that he is on. He defeats Jose Aldo, he defeats Marlon Moraes, he defeats Peter Yan, Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley, and now he comes out with unbeaten Umar Nurmagomedov. That was an incredible run that he is on. And I think this guy deserves to be way up there on the pound for pound list. The problem that I think the UFC has with both Merab and the division is who you going to match him against. He's beaten most of the guys up there. He kind of talked about, okay, I'll give O'Malley another crack tonight, but there is no logical next guy. Davison Figueiredo and hasn't fought for the 135-pound title, but he lost to Peter Yan. Peter Yan's already lost to Merab. There's nobody up there that makes a lot of sense. So I'm guessing Sean O'Malley is going to get the next title opportunity. It'll be a rematch. But boy, I'll tell you what, Sean is going to have to cover a lot of ground to beat this guy. This guy is just insane with how hard he works and with the pace that he can push in the fight. And when you get worn down, and he wears everybody down, but when you get worn down, that is when you make mistakes. And so, it's going to take a really good effort or just a major glaring error on the part of Merab for somebody to beat him. And finally, I should mention Jiri Prochazka. Jiri rated himself a C in his light heavyweight victory over the former champion Jamahal Hill. He really focused this time on keeping his hands up. He likes to fight with his hands at his side, and he got caught by Pereira. And so he spent a lot of his camp, get those hands up, keep those hands high, and don't let yourself get caught with those punches that he got caught and got knocked out against Alex. He was hoping that a win in this fight would probably get him another crack at Alex Pereira. And Dana White did not throw cold water on that, but they announced tonight that at UFC 313 in March that Pereira will defend the title against Magomed Ankalaev. So my guess is what will happen is at that fight, Ankalaev and Pereira, the winner, will then fight Jiri Prochazka for the light heavyweight title. I think that's what makes the most sense. That is probably what will go on. But that was a really good fight between Jamahal and Jiri. They both brought it. Jamahal got dropped in the first round, then he got finished in the third round. He had his moments, especially in the second round, landing on Jiri and had Jiri reeling at one point. But Jiri was just too good, and Jiri didn't make the glaring mistake that he's made so many times in the past. So we will see what happens. Jiri said he wants some time off, doesn't want to come back and fight too soon. So he wants some time off to let his body recover and then go through a training camp so he can prepare for what he hopes is a third fight against Alex Pereira. Dana said, who wouldn't want to see that fight again? People probably will want to see it. So I'm guessing that we will probably see that again. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the fights tonight. It was a good show. I had a good time. Please subscribe to this video, like this video, leave a comment if you wish. I would appreciate that. I do check the comments, so I will respond to as many of them as I can. Also, do me a favor, go to keviniole.com and check out what's going on over there. And if you want to comment, it's free to read. It's all you have to do is register so that we can prevent spam. We don't want your email or anything. So just register so you can comment, and I would love to have you. Anyways, again, recapping UFC 311 at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. Islam Makhachev defends the lightweight championship successfully. He submits Renato Moicano in the first round with a Darce choke. Merab Dvalishvili successfully defends his Bantamweight championship by winning a unanimous decision over Umar Nurmagomedov. And Jiri Prochazka, the former light heavyweight champion, he stops Jamahal Hill, another former light heavyweight champion, and probably put himself in position for another title shot. Hope you enjoyed the fights again, everybody. Look forward to seeing you guys soon and chatting about the fights. Have a great week.